Good news for them. Steph Curry will probably return to the court tonight against the Hawks. Steph missed the last 6 games with a sprained ankle. Warriors still need to get Clay, Dre, KD back. Otherwise, they won't seem very Warrior-like. Here's Steph discussing the issue. Take a listen.
I'm definitely not 100%, but like you said, right now, there's nothing that's going to happen between now and the end of June that can change that. So as long as I'm not putting myself in jeopardy, it being stable and strong and able to support me all the moves that I try on the floor, I'm good to go.
So, Chris, this is an issue that we bounce around a lot here. How big of an injury is this for the Warriors?
Well, I think it's a very significant issue for Golden State. I saw them play last week and at the beginning of when Steph started sitting out some of these games. And look, there's concern because it's the same ankle, the surgically repaired ankle, and then how he keeps sort of, extending it and getting these bumps and bruises along the way. They're not panicking right now, but the reason he's been sitting out as long as he has is just to make sure that this doesn't become something that affects them in the playoffs. They
quiet it down.
They're quiet it down, but look, they're definitely afraid, given what's happened this season, of Steph, stepping on somebody's foot and having to miss 3, 4, 5 games. Maybe more so this year because really beginning in the second round, you're going to have some street fights. Maybe they wind up playing Oklahoma City in the second round, and we know the palpable disdain that Russell Westbrook has for that team. And then, of course, against Houston, their biggest threat in years, you can't get by the Houston Rockets with a 3/4 Steph Curry. You need a full-strength Steph Curry, and that's what's caused them some concern.
Yeah, one thing, too, is when you've had an ankle that's tweaked, okay, first of all, once you sprain the ankle, there becomes some weakness in the ankle joint. Now, Steph, over the years, with continuing to sprain his ankles, he's done everything from a training standpoint. He's added drills to add some strength to his ankles. He even wears the extra support as far as the braces up under his tennis shoe. He's got a signature shoe that's designed with extra support to help his ankles. So we know this is a significant problem. But every time you roll your ankle with that basketball sprain where the side of your ankle goes down to the ground, it seems like a simple thing. Last time, he was just going in for a layup. And on the landing and taking his second step, we saw the ankle roll. So he's had a history of ankle problems. There is significant weakness there in the ankle. And if he steps on someone's shoe, something you can't prevent, it's going to take at least a week because the ankle is weak.
Right.
It's something that he's rehabbed. Now, he's saying he's not 100%, but he's comfortable enough playing with it. Now, not to bring Kawhi into this, but because he's done it a lot, he's more apt to be able to play with it because he's a little used to it. He knows what he can do. He struggled with it in the playoffs a couple years ago. After a couple weeks, he got back to 100%, but he probably wasn't still 100% until after the season. But I think his comfort level, because he's been dealing with this for a long time,
how to work around
the team would be more apt to let him go a little early compared to holding him because they've seen that they've been going back and forth with this for a long time.
And I'm going to add something that came out late last night that is perplexing to me. Chris Haynes of ESPN, I want to show you this picture. So those are Steph's new shoes.
What do you notice about
For the
them,
first
Stacey?
time in his tenure with Under Armour, he's now going to, when he comes back, he's wearing low tops.
Let him tell you.
So when you mentioned the extra ankle support, these low tops, they are like the old, if you're a shoes, you like shoes like the Kobe's, like basically as low as the KDs the last few years.
Under the ankle.
Super low sneakers. And so now he'll still be able to wear his brace, but like I know you're big on the shoes. Like wearing the low tops coming back from the ankle injury is concerning.
When I was a kid, I read Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's book. And that's Kareem. You're talking about the guy who had the longest career and the least number of injuries. He was into yoga. He never got his ankles taped. So for me, when I got from college, they required it. When I got into the pros and I got a little bit of status, the trainer said, "Do you want to be taped?" And I said, "No." And it was based off Kareem. Kareem had the best history with injuries. He never got taped. The reason why he didn't get taped was because once you secure that ankle joint, all right, the pressure goes up to your knee joint. That's why you see guys blow out their knee, is because their ankle joint is taped. I prefer guys, and we have seen the last 5 years, more guys are wearing low-top shoes because they've gotten used to them. They play with. You don't have to have high-top basketball shoes on now to be able to play. Steph will still have the ankle braces, but I think the low-top, it's what technology, where it is right now.
So you actually think it's a good development for him?
Well, I know you can do it, and I know he's going to wear the ankle support. When you wear those ankle braces, man, you could wear flip-flops. You know, because that's going to secure the ankle joint and not giving the stability side to side.
You know, when I talk to people out in Golden State, one thing that speaks to the severity of the injury, or at least the concern about the injury and how they've kind of sat him out, left him home on a recent road trip, is the fact that they're willing to sacrifice the #1 seed to do it. Now, you can sit back and say, look, they're the defending champs, they're 3-time finalists, whatever, but this is not a Cleveland situation.
Yes.
And Cleveland could do that to Boston last year and still get the finals. Golden State knows the type of threat that Houston is, but they're still willing to kind of wave the white flag on that and say, you know what, Steph's ankles are a priority here. But a reason to be optimistic on the other side of it is, remember when Steph came back from the previous ankle injury? Did not miss a beat.
No.
He was the best player in
amazing.
basketball for like a 2-week stretch when he came back from that injury. They're optimistic that rust or any of those things are not going to be
What
affected.
Mannix is referring to when he sat out major time earlier this year, the month he came back, or the bulk
was
of that
lights
month,
out.
he was the best we have ever seen him, including his unanimous MVP year. He was unbelievable. A healthy Steph Curry is still one of, if not the biggest threat in basketball. We understand that. But without him, this team outscores you by 2.5 points per game. That's good. With him, they outscore you by more than 10 a game. That's what makes them then.
Wow, I'm going to get out and put
Back
this
after
physical.
this. Need my reading glasses.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You look nice, Jenna.
They're stylish.
Shut up.